What's that sound? It's For Amusement Only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast. Welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick Baldridge. Tonight I wanted to talk about 1980's magic screen game, Malibu Beach. Malibu Beach is the last electromechanical bingo that Bally produced. And for comparison, in 1980, even Gottlieb was firmly in the solid-state era. And Bally themselves, of course, had long been in the solid-state business with their flipper games, and even longer with portions of their bingos. But Malibu Beach was an exception, and it was an interesting one. In 1980, the only place to legally sell the bingos was in Nevada, at least from my understanding. And what happened is that a Nevada operator and former Bally field service technician apparently told Bally that he wanted them to remake Laguna Beach, which was a previous Magic Screen game made in 1960. So Bally came back and said, no way, we're not doing that. But we will make a brand new game that's exactly the same electrically, but it's going to have changes to the circuitry, which will make it more reliable, and it will have a different theme, because we can't just reissue the same title. When I spoke with Hugh Cowan on our only interview to this date, he talked about this story, and what he said is that essentially Nevada decided not to actually put these into service in the casinos. And so Bally was stuck holding the bag. Now, some way or other, these games got out into the world. And it's unclear, at least from my understanding, how they got out there. Because at this time, all the states had cracked down, except for Nevada. And Nevada decided to move away from all electromechanical gambling devices. They went to solid state. And that's why they changed their opinion, at least apparently. I'm not an expert on anything related to Nevada. I'm not an expert on anything, period. But that's intriguing to me, that they would have asked for this new game done in the old style and then decided, actually we don't want it. That's pretty rough. So let's talk features here. Malibu Beach is a magic screen game. A magic screen bingo is typified by a 25 number card on the backglass. When you look at the default position, you see numbers connected in straight lines with green, yellow, or red. Those lines correspond with the odds, which are shown below in 3 different colors: green, yellow, and red. This is called triple deck scoring, because all 3 of those colors can move independently. When you come up to the bingo machine, you drop in your first nickel or quarter. The machine will whir to life, reset, load your first ball to the shooter lane, and light the default odds. From there, you can play your game, try to get 3, 4, or 5 in a row to win your default odds in any color, or you can put in more money for a chance at advancing your odds, your features, or both. So your odds, let's stick with those for a moment. Your base odds are 4 for 3 in a row, 16 for 4 in a row, and 75 for 5 in a row. But they jump up to 192 for 3 in a row, 480 for 4 in a row, and 600 for 5 in a row. Malibu Beach does not have pick-a-play. Remember, this is a remake of Laguna Beach, which also did not have pick-a-play. So with each red button press, or each nickel or quarter in, the game has a random chance at jumping anything, or everything. So, let's talk about features. The magic screens typically have 7 different positions, which can light anywhere from the first 4, A, B, C, and D, all the way up to G. And you earn the first 4 all at once. These positions allow you to move the screen, so the bingo card that you see when you first walk up with all the lines which are interconnected will actually shift and move out of the way, and in will roll a new card with sections instead of numbers connected by lines. So in this way, if you get 3 in a section, or 4 in a section, or 5 in a section, you will win the same thing as if you got 3, 4, or 5 in a row. Now, the beauty of the section scoring is that the numbers don't have to be adjacent. They don't have to be in a row. A very powerful feature, and what makes these games so popular. As the letter F lights in the magic screen positions, you'll hear a click, and at this point the game will choose whether to light 3 in the blue or 2 in the blue. The blue section is made up of 3 numbers only, and it's pretty challenging to get all 3. So if you have 3 in the blue lit, it scores your green 5 in a line odds. If you have 2 in the blue lit, it scores your green 5 in a line odds. So if the machine lights 2 in the blue, you have to shoot for it. You got to take the chance. Even if you miss terribly on your first few shots, you still have multiple chances to get 2 in the blue. So what do I mean by that? Because you've earned these magic screen positions, what can go wrong? Well, the game will lock you out of moving the magic screen by default before you shoot your 4th ball. This can be extended, though, to either before 5th or after 5th. And the game gives you 5 balls by default. But that's not all, right? If you don't earn before 5th or after 5th through coin play, the game can randomly light the rollovers. The rollovers are located about 3/4 of the way down the playfield, and they're called the star rollovers because they're typically shaped like a star. The yellow rollover will light before 5th if you hit it when it's lit, and the red rollover will light after 5th if you hit it when it's lit. Now, the most powerful thing to do on a magic screen game is to get a 3, 4, or 5 in a row vertically, because with this, you can shift the screen 3 positions and collect your 5 in a row win in all 3 colors. You can also do this through section scoring, but typically you earn a lot less. So let's say you had 5 in the green section, well, you might be able to collect in the yellow and the red, but it'd only be 3 instead of 5. So think about this. You get your vertical 5 in a line, and you have your odds maxed out. You have after 5th lit. This means that you win 1,800 replays. That's pretty cool. So, what other advantages does this game give you? Well, the super sections, which are the first 2 sections which are revealed on the magic screen. There's yellow with black stripes and red with white stripes. By default, those just score your normal yellow or red odds, but if you have the super section lit, if you get 2 in one of those sections, whichever one is lit, it will score as if you got 3. 3 scores as 4, and 4 scores as if you got 5. So this is an incredibly important feature as well. If you have the super section lit, you need to go for it, because it's essentially spotting you any number in that section. Now, there's more. The letters in Malibu will light up red but only one at a time. And this is tied to the green odds. So as the green odds step, so too will the letter in Malibu. Whichever letter is lit in red, if you earn the feature called OK, which is to the left of the magic screen positions, then an orange section will be revealed if you push the left button on the footrail instead of right to move in your normal sections. If you get 2 in the orange, and that's all you need, just 2, then you can hold down the R button and it will start your red letter game. Now that letter in Malibu, which is lit in red, will award you a guaranteed new game with guaranteed odds and features. So this game also, because again it's a remake of Laguna Beach, brings back orange section scoring. And if you get 3 or more in the orange section, which awards your OK normally, it'll score as if you got 3, 4, or 5 in the green. So this is even more incentive to get your numbers in the orange section to start your red letter game. So let's talk about artwork. Malibu Beach has a wave representation of the name Malibu Beach, and a wave at the end with the surfer on top who is surfing over a silhouette of the sun. The main action on the Backglass is a big volleyball game right in the foreground. Lots of people are walking by. Many people are swimming or playing out in the ocean. There's a boat or two out there. You can see umbrellas. It's just packed with people. The coloration is very nice. The gradient between the beach scene, which is very bright down at the bottom, to the ocean, to the setting sun, and that of course throws up oranges and reds and purples and blues. It's pretty cool, the contrast. Moving to the cab, you see the setting sun with 3 seagulls flying in front of it in silhouette, clouds behind, and palm trees which extend on the lower cab and on the side of the head. The Playfield has the same surfer silhouetted over the sun at the ball arch. And then down below you have that gradient I was talking about, but it's more basic. There's purples and blues and oranges and yellows, which go down to the ocean, where there are several boats sitting there. A woman is off to the left, near the rollover, and on the right-hand side there's an umbrella with a person underneath that. Your numbered holes alternate. They appear to be playing cards, almost, and they alternate between yellow and orange. So, a little personal history with this game. I've played several examples of it, and they are typically in fantastic shape. Now, normally, if you get an older bingo, there's going to be years and years of operation that have gone into that bingo up to the point that you've received it. And that means that there's old grease and, of course, nicotine smell, tar, all that kind of stuff is kind of ground in. But with Malibu Beach, because they are typically so fresh, so clean, you don't have that. So I've played a few and had my head in a couple, and it's different. The wires are plastic coated all over instead of just the high voltage wires. And what Hugh Cowan said during our interview is that they were cranking them out so fast because they had to get it done before the line closed. They were closing down the bingo division. And what happened is that they generated a whole lot of wiring errors because they were just moving so quickly. So if you ever happen upon a Malibu Beach and it's not doing something correctly, your first thought may be to check one of the many areas that I've talked about in order to address your problem, but it may be that one or more discs are actually miswired, and that is a challenge. Now, thankfully, I've never worked on one to that level of detail. Some of the things that I've done were changing a coil or, easy stuff. So, they're definitely some of the cleanest Magic Screen games that I have ever seen, and I'm pretty much going to attribute that to just how new they are. Most of the Screen games were made in the 1960s, and so they had an additional 20 or so years to accrue dirt. Well, that's all for tonight. There's only one more Bally Bingo that was ever produced. Thank you very much for joining me. My name again is Nick Baldridge. You can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me on the Bingos line. That's 724-BINGOS-1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, also at Bingo Podcast, or you can listen to us on our website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.